Can't say me never did I warn you. Madam Speaker, the JDF continues to be critical to the security of Jamaica. As part of Plan Secure Jamaica, we have been expanding the capabilities of the JDF in air, sea, land, and cyber domains. The JDF is also playing a key role in social intervention and community building through training and youth engagement. Madam Speaker, as part of the strategic plan to increase security in our land domain, and in response to the growing trend of criminals creating hideouts and camps in very remote and uninhabited areas from which they launch attacks on communities and then escape back into these areas, the JDF will be expanding its patrol, surveillance, and presence in our remote and inaccessible regions across Jamaica. Where feasible, permanent presence will be established, and this will assist not only in detecting criminals and illegal activities, but it will help with conservation of our natural resources in these areas. Madam Speaker, on Thursday last, I approved the transfer of over 100 acres of hilltop land from the Windsor Farm property in Wareika Hills to the JDF for the creation of a special operations base. This is a strategic location from which the JDF can take control of the mountain range and conduct a range of operations in support of the JCF and other national security goals. Madam Speaker, this is the first of many such bases to come. We will not cede 1 inch of land for criminals to feel that they have control and are out of reach of law enforcement and the Jamaican state. Madam Speaker, we are investing in very sophisticated technologies, and we are developing strategies to counter these criminals. So if they think that they can hide, go up into the hills, run, come down and extort people doing the road work in Bull Bay, we know you. We are going to find you, and you will be dealt with accordingly. Madam Speaker, too often our intelligence points to crimes being directed from prisons, including the ordering of murders. The phones and contraband do not walk into the prisons by themselves. As it stands now, our prisons are a national security risk. Last year, I tasked the Minister of National Security and the JDF to finalize designs for a high security prison and identify the lands where such prison can be built. The plans are close to completion, and the land has been located and secured. That is the case, Minister. We consider this a matter of great urgency to be expedited, Minister of Finance, through the public investment process. If we can do it this year, we will find the money somewhere to do it. If we can go through the public investment process quickly. But that is a national security risk. I know the member from South St. Catherine has been talking about that for a long time. But now is the time, Madam Speaker. However, Madam Speaker, regardless of how thick we make the walls, the number of cameras we install, and how far we locate the prison, if there is collusion between guards and prisoners, phones and other contraband will get in and messages and instructions will get out. It is precisely why the government amended the Corrections Act in December 2021, adding criminal sanctions to those who facilitate and benefit from the trading in contraband. To note, Madam Speaker, the first charges have been laid and a matter related to contraband is now before the courts. The JCF and the Department of Correctional Services will continue to tighten the screws on those who seek to continue their criminal enterprise behind bars. Despite this important step, there has to be a total rethink of the correctional services to guarantee the integrity of the service. The National Security Council will be considering further reforms in this regard to ensure that criminal masterminds and gang leaders cannot continue to conduct their criminal enterprise and direct murder from prison. Madam Speaker, this government is pursuing a comprehensive, sustainable strategy to improve our security and sowing seeds of peace, opportunity, and prosperity. I want to see a Jamaica where the people can sleep with their windows and doors open, and I do not resile from that. It is an ambition that we should all have, rather than gleefully cheering where the situation seems overwhelming or unachievable. Madam Speaker, I am confident that in my lifetime, we will bring our murder rate down to the regional average, and we will remove the propensity to violence from our people. Madam Speaker, I have dedicated myself to this cause, and my resolve is still in this matter. Madam Speaker, no other Prime Minister has taken the interest in national security than I have done. In 2017, we started Plan Secure Jamaica, a comprehensive whole-of-government, multi-year plan to decisively and sustainably address the epidemic of crime and violence. Madam Speaker, Plan Secure Jamaica comprises 6 strategic elements, which I have outlined in previous speeches and will reiterate. First, strengthening the national security architecture, protecting and securing Jamaica's borders, maritime space, and key sectors of the economy, strengthening the criminal justice system, strengthening national integrity systems, enhancing youth and community development, and attaining and sustaining public support for law enforcement and public order. Madam Speaker, we have been systematically and strategically implementing this plan. We have been putting in place the required technology, surveillance, telecommunications, mobility, forensics, human resource training, intelligence apparatus, legal and institutional developments towards achieving these objectives. Recruitment and training to increase the size and capabilities of the JCF continues. And the JCF's 2021-2022 target of 1,200 new recruits will be met. This will be the highest number of members recruited in a single year. It is an unassailable fact that the investment in building our national security apparatus by this government is unprecedented. It is important for the country to understand that we are pushing or pursuing a long-term, multifaceted strategy that will result in sustainable reductions in crime and violence. This is not a quick fix. Under Plan Secure Jamaica, we have started to strengthen our national security architecture by increasing the level and intensity of cooperation between agencies in the security space to narrow the opportunities for crime and remove the profit from crime. Madam Speaker, the government has remained unwavering in its strategic focus and resolve to disrupt and dismantle criminal gangs, interdict dons and gunmen, and confiscate every illegal gun in Jamaica. The failure to take meaningful and targeted action against Jamaica's biggest threat, the illegal gun, by successive governments is having lasting consequences for us today. The government has adopted a multifaceted approach to the problem of illegal guns through legislation, regulations, and law enforcement efforts. The Firearms Prohibition, Restriction, and Regulation Act has been tabled in this House and is now being reviewed by a joint select committee. It will introduce harsher penalties for offences connected with the illicit trade, manufacture, stockpiling, possession, profiling, and use of illegal guns. We have launched the Get Every Illegal Gun campaign. The Firearm Licensing Authority, the FLA, and the Jamaica Customs Agency have intensified their efforts to detect illegal guns entering the country. The government has already initiated adjustments to the operations of the FLA to prevent impropriety in the issuing of gun permits. Further amendments will be made to the Firearms Bill to remove the discretion of a minister to grant firearms licenses, to require fit and proper standards and security vetting for members of the board, to require security vetting and polygraphs for all staff in sensitive posts at the FLA, and to clearly define persons who are prohibited from applying for a firearm. Madam Speaker, there have been many calls locally for our security partners to assist us with the detection of guns coming into our ports and the interdiction of persons overseas sending these guns to Jamaica. Our partners have been cooperating with us, both on guns and lottery scamming. However, from our side, we must show that we are serious. It cannot be that agents at our ports are complicit in facilitating the import of illegal guns and contraband, and nothing is done about it. It cannot be that lottery scammers and other unfit persons are able to get legal guns to carry out their illicit activities. We are tightening up the FLA and customs. We are sending a message to our security partners that the Jamaican government is serious about stopping illegal guns, gangs, scammers, and gunmen and drugs. We will be seeking to intensify our cooperation with our security partners, particularly the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. I have a word for all those overseas sending back guns to Jamaica in barrels and TVs. Stop it! Stop it! We will find you and we will ask for your extradition back to Jamaica to serve time in a Jamaican prison. That is another key element of the strategy, Madam Speaker. We have to have stronger, closer relations with our security partners on these matters so that they see we are serious. It can't be that we are asking for help and at the same time we don't appear to be serious. Because if we tighten that security partnership, Madam Speaker, we can stem the flow of guns through our legal ports. So, Madam Speaker, I have a word. And I say, stop it. But I have another thing to tell them. You mean us no good by sending us guns. You don't mean us any good by sending guns here. And so I have no sympathy for you. And by virtue of this statement today, as the Minister of Finance said, and the leader of the opposition said, can't say me never did a warn you. Recently, the recently launched JDF anti-gang task force has been operational, and their efforts so far have been reaping significant success. For the period January 1 to March 14, 2022, Jamaica recorded 967 major crimes, a reduction of 11%. This is the lowest incidence of major crimes since 2010. Murders are down by 5.2%. They are now at 292 compared to 308. At this point, Madam Speaker, shootings are down by 19%. There are now 222 shootings compared to 274. Madam Speaker, I'm sure we have noticed that whenever we talk about a reduction in murder, very shortly thereafter, we see a spike. I used to say to the Minister of National Security, don't say anything about it. And then an interesting revelation from a trial. Very interesting revelation. But we knew this because, Madam Speaker, our intelligence was telling us that, the average Jamaican looks at crime as a simple street level activity. That's not what is happening here. We have organized intelligence driving crime. These are not poor boys of circumstances. These are criminals managing large enterprises who use their power and influence to affect the state, because that's effectively what that criminal was doing. No, the government will look too good, man. You have to turn it up. Yeah, so that is the kind of criminals we are dealing with. So this sympathy for crime in the country and sympathy for criminals, we must get that out of our minds. There must be no sympathy for any criminal in this country. None. We have, Madam Speaker, 196 firearms have been seized, which to date, might be even more, which represents an overall increase of 26% and a 100% increase in rifle seizures. The campaign is working. People are giving information. Madam Speaker, we have put $25 million from the FLA into the Get Every Illegal Gun campaign. That is, there was a misconception, a misperception rather, that we are trying to buy back guns. We're not buying back any guns. What we are buying is information. That's what we're doing.